Okay, today's video we're talking about adding some additional revenue streams to the business you already have going right now. If you don't have a business already, I'm sorry, this one's more geared for you guys who are already in business, particularly for you guys where business for you is harder to scale. In other words, if you're in a situation you're running like professional services and you're having trouble finding good people, this right here is a way to scale your business using a out-of-the-box strategy and offering a training or school addition to your current practice to be able to upwards of, I've seen it double the amount of sales revenue that you're getting at your business, but not just more or double the sales revenue, but with 3 times the profit margin that your original starting sales revenue that you were bringing in already was getting you already. So essentially it could be 2 to 3 times profit in addition to 2 to 3 times more profit than you have right now for your current business. So respectively, this could actually also work for product companies and service companies. It could be we're selling to businesses, could be to selling to consumers. As long as your product has ultimately selling it to somebody who has an implementer or installer, this can work for you. Respectively, if you're training people how to install this better, even if you're just a manufacturer of that product, you're going to sell more of them because if you don't have any installers, obviously it's harder to sell the product itself. But respectively, this is for people who already have a service like a restaurant or professional services or a construction company who work hard for your money now, and you can easily just take the knowledge you already have, and that more specifically your people already have, and just resell that general knowledge that you got to pay to maintain for yourself anyway. And if you're successful in business, people want that knowledge, and they will absolutely pay a good price for it. How much? I'll explain based upon how other people here are doing it already that I've seen. And ultimately then how do you ultimately do this for yourself, promoting it with PPC. Since this is a PPC channel, I'll tell you how to get your customers / clients for this using PPC, which that part's the easy part. And so if you think you could put together a little bit of a training course that explains how to install or do what you do, I can guarantee you there's a bolt-on business to your existing business here that will be very profitable. And like the title says, it could pretty much be automated. So if you don't have time, this is something your own people can do, which is what people like to do this, why they do it the most. They want to make money without having to work harder, and this is one way to do it. So yes, this is a PPC channel, but I've seen 3 different people who have done this now and thought this should be shared for companies who can't scale so easily. Like I said, maybe you are a real estate person and you're too busy, so why not package up your information and sell it to other people who want to be successful like you to be able to get the most current information on what works and how to do it, and not just the legal stuff, but like physically in the trenches how it's done. Or respectively, there's other ways to sell that knowledge, such as other real estate agencies that want to train their people can get that knowledge. So there's more than one way, as they say, to skin a cat. You can sell more by doing more, or you could sell more by taking, in this case, the information that you have, your proprietary knowledge, and sell it at a premium price to people who aren't yet as successful as you, but want to be in one way, shape, or form. So the premise here is, and so yeah, this is to sum this up, this is not a business strategy channel or how to create a business, but how to create a business and then use PPC to promote it. Just wanted to clear that up. The premise here is, so if you want to do what I'm about to explain here, create a course or a training program that shows other people to do what you do, there are actually several types of buyers, and there's actually multiple ways that you can set this up to sell the information that explains and how to replicate what you do in another place or another time. What's been good or really big recently? Anything, by the way, that does where you're doing online, like colleges. Like, for instance, I know somebody who has a design school. It was doing so after or before the pandemic. Now it exploded since then. And it's not just exploded during the lockdowns. In general, people would rather go online way more than they used to. So if you come up with something that can be done purely online instead of going to a college, there's a good chance that that'll work, especially since most companies haven't really caught on to this yet. This is the new way to do things. People, it's so convenient. Do it at your own pace. Also, it's a heck of a lot cheaper. And so maybe it's not an accredited school, but if you could get a job with the knowledge, and with most companies, all they care is you have experience, and you can start out at a lower wage if you know how to do it, but without the piece of paper saying you know what you're doing, then for people that's way more common. That's good enough for them to just get started, get some experience, and then you can make your money. But primarily what this is about is setting up a physical school of your own. You're not a college, but on the weekends, let's say you could set up a course, or for a few days in a row, or on weekends in general, to show people how to actually install or do what you do there. And so you could, if you have technical skills, obviously put it all into a digital course, which is more difficult to do if you don't have a technical background, but the most profitable, because obviously that's 100% profit margin once it's done. Using these PPC ads, I'm going to show you how to build here in a second and what generally work in this space. Or you could do a physical in-person thing that your employees, as soon as you write down the curriculum, can do for you, and you can make money, good margins, extra money at good margins without having to do anything once it's already structured, set up, and going. So if you do have an online school that actually tells somebody how to do what you do for people who want to do it, or how to do it as well, but in person, there's multiple buyers here there's a way bigger market that people realize out there that people want that information. The first of which is, for other businesses, now this obviously doesn't really, if you are in a market where this is more so for local businesses, because other businesses in other local markets, you're not in competition with them. You can share all your knowledge and it will work because you're not doing the same things, obviously. But it could be people in your same local market too. Let you decide. But it's a big problem, especially now after the pandemic, actually hiring and training people. Particularly on the low end where employees make less than like $50,000 a year. They don't have time to train people to do what they're doing. And if they want to scale particularly quickly, they really don't have time to train. The other thing they want to do to help be able to scale is they want to offer more services. If you're a construction company and you want to do heated floors, you don't have anybody to do that. You want to be able to offer that, but you don't know how to do it. And you want to be able to do more than just what you want to do. You want to be able to have someone also that can come in that can also expand your service offerings by just hiring out. But the problem is only so many people know how to do that. And if there already is a lot of people who know how to do that, then it's probably a well-served market already, let's say. But if you can get a person that you already have that's got potential and you can get them trained, now I can offer that service, and not because they had to go somewhere else, let's say the other part of the country, to get the training, which a lot of these guys are doing, which I'll explain in a minute or a moment. Then now I've got something in my local market that nobody's offering. I can run ads for right away, in which I know that there's a market because I can see if people are searching for it in my market already using Google Keyword Tool and filtering by location, see if people on a monthly basis are consistently looking for the service. Then I can expand my business without having to do anything myself again. So on the other side, it's the same thing. I want to scale. I want to make money without having to work. I'll send my guy or send a new person here over there, get the training, come back, turn on the ads for the service. I'm making more money now. And because you're the only one doing it, the margins are obviously better. People are going to have more realistic expectations. So that's the number one market here. Number two, you want to increase retention through increasing product or service quality. So let's say you offer you have a restaurant, you specialize in pizza. There's certain, pizza restaurants out there that have perfected the methodology of making a pizza that people will, rave over and come back again and again for, and which you'll get, 5-star reviews on Yelp, which also pull people in, gets word of mouth, all of that stuff. And so if you are a pizza restaurant, you can sell your information about how to make a great pizza in which people will come back for, and that you have physical proof because you're actually a restaurant doing it. You're not just some schmuck who put together some, basic information where they learned it on YouTube themselves. They've actually tested it in a tried and true method. People from across the country can come to you and learn how to do that. And you're really doing a good service for the world because everybody's now going to get better product because of you. So, but they want to learn how to do it better themselves. So it's more so than just, training somebody to do something new. Like I mentioned mainly here on number one, it's how to train your people better so you can have an awesome product or service. And then the third one here in terms of use cases where people would want to buy your knowledge straight out as a side hustle or business to your original business. People want it faster or more convenient than what they can get at a community college. So a lot of businesses for years, right, they would offer to send people to school. Well, they had night classes, but that's really inconvenient, right? And it's so structured. If you aren't there exactly at the right times, then, you're missing out and whatever. So what has been like I said, online schools that you can go at your own pace and everything, that's becoming the new trend. And it's underserved in a ton of markets out there. And so you could be the first one in your market that really does this right. But what's becoming really popular is a Blitz program where you can get all the training done in a weekend that normally would be a 6-week course, or a 6-month course at a community college. So they can if you want to make money now, this is how you make money now. Get it all done right away. And respectively, it's better quality because if you're learning, obviously, what's that saying? Teachers teach, doers do. And yes, I teach, but because this channel's popular, because I run a PPC agency, so I'm not making the stuff up. If I say something works and you try it, it will work, not maybe, we don't know if it will work or not. And if with all the effort it takes to learn how to do something, I want to learn it from the person doing it. And so they don't want to go to a college, even though most of the time the trade schools are pretty good or whatnot, tech schools, whatever. It's still, I would want to, and I guess I can't speak for everybody, but I want to learn from somebody who's out there doing it. They got good reviews, so I know they're doing it right, and that's just what people want. And I can learn the latest of the latest technology. With technology changing so fast, I want to learn what the current up-to-the-date right now stuff, how it's being done in the market now, because I could go to the employer and say, I know the current standards for 2022, 2023, whatever, which is also helps you get hired or whatnot, as well as on top of everything else. And it's cheaper than going to a community college on top of all that. So for a lot of different reasons, you could sell information, put it into an academic format, whether it's it can be a short program, or longer. It's up to you, but there's people out there, and it's becoming more and more in demand all the time, that people get training to do a specific job that, you're not taking all this, writing course. You're getting the exact meat of what you need to learn. You can learn it quick, and you can do it on your own pace and pay a reasonable price when you don't have a job to get trained, so that you can get trained and so you can get a job. The other thing is that the drawback to it is there's no government programs to pay for college when you're selling the courses yourself. That's why those courses are usually sold for less from these guys that are doing a course that shows people how to do what you're doing at your company now. But respectively, everybody can come up with $1,000 or $2,000 if they're serious. And that adds up in a hurry when you're charging that for something that basically you can replicate at will. And there's a lot of people out there doing it. And you'll see how much, what the potential is. You could train 10 or 20 people at a time. So anyway, those are the main markets for your information. And there are obviously a couple ways to do it. Online school, it's becoming more popular, harder to implement. The in-person, way less competition. And for certain people who want to do this, you could probably be the only one in your own market, locally or nationally, that has that available. So higher margin with the online school, but harder to implement is the main thing there. So with all that said, Corey, how do I put together some coursework that explains what we do here and make a lot of money with it? Well, you're going to kind of have to, I'm not going to include all the information on how to piece together the course itself too much here, because the video will go on too long. What I will tell you how to do, though, is how to get the customers and the people that I already know, past clients, current clients that have done it, where they're getting customers from, because I run their marketing. Before I quickly say that, though, if you're a profitable business that outsell your competition, I guess I mentioned this already, you're going to, even if somebody in your market, you're searching around after this video that you see other people selling a course, your course is going to sell, or program is going to sell more because people want to learn from the market leader. So if you are successful, but it's harder to scale, but you're successful because you're, as an owner, you're very active in your business. This is a great solution for you in general, a good reason why you would do it in the first place. It's more practical knowledge, like I said, even though they're not coming in with a checklist like this, they know it'll be more practical coming from a real business versus somebody selling that's in the education business itself by itself. And you can learn the marketing side of the business. So I'm not talking about the advertising end, but they know that an active business knows what people like, what they don't like, how this works for this type of person versus this type of person, and getting that active information in the course, which you could put right in your sales copy on your landing page when you promote this. You could mention that. So you're going in, which they can either tell their employer or which they know going in, that they know exactly what the public wants, up to date right now, and it came from the market leader. So you don't get better information better than that. So if you're in a position to do this, it will work. And it will always work because this is the top information you can get in your space. That said, how do I implement this to actually get customers? Once you got the program or course together, you're just going to run a simple search campaign on Google. You're going to target keywords like thermal employee training. Sorry, I meant to say thermal inspection here. Thermal inspection employee training. Thermal inspection is like that you're checking for electrical lines to see if there's problem where they're shorting out, and you use a handheld thermal device to check it, and if there's something broken, you can see it by the temperature change there. Or construction employee training. So basically you have a construction company, but you need to be able to train people coming in. You are going to search for that kind of a keyword, construction employee training. If there's not everybody doing that, obviously, but there are people searching that way, and there are in every market. They're looking for whatever you do, employee training, and then you're going to send them to a landing page that just says exactly that. We offer, we're the top, we do $10 million a year in sales, and we got our active employees that deliver our services that will show your employees exactly how to do what we do and do it right, and blah, blah, blah. And that's really all you got to say. If you are in the situation where more so, or want to add this in. The other angle is, instead of the business owners themselves looking for employee training and searching for, market employee training, then you're going to search for market and then certification for the employees who are looking to get trained for their own purposes so they can get a job. It'll be like pizza maker certification, dental hygienist certification. So some markets you'll be able to do both. Go after the business owners who want to train their employees, and go after people who want to get knowledge so they can get a job doing that. And you can hit it from both angles here. But basically, those are the two groups of keywords, like certification or program, and then keywords with like employee training on it. Okay? So those are what you go after. You might go after just one because it makes sense for your market to only go after one, sometimes both. You have the ad that says exactly what you're offering there. Construction employee training is your headline on your ad. And you say, top active construction company offers 5-day training course on current foundation, repair services, whatever it is. You're going to, as far as like the construction one, you're going to try to narrow it down. So if they're looking for construction employee training, you have that as a keyword, you're going to say construction employee training, and then the ad's going to say, we teach you everything about how to have a construction employee, no matter whatever it is. But if you'll actually also search for like foundation repair employee training, and then with that, you're going to talk just about foundation repair employee training on the ad. Respectively, when people are, by the way, looking for employee training for their employees, they're not expecting that they're going to be lucky enough to find a company like you that's going to train their employees like that through a 5-day course or 2-day course or whatever. So your ad shows up there on the top of Google. It's really, really enticing to them because nobody has that in a lot of markets, like I said, most markets. And respectively, if you want to learn how to be a chef and learn how to get a job be at a pizza shop or whatever, not a lot of search volume there, but if you see pizza makers certification course and it says 5-day in-person pizza certification course, blah, 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 again, in that situation, in a lot of these markets that you guys are in, there'll be nobody offering anything. So it'll really stand out and get the user's attention, and it'll be like a magnet. Because otherwise on Google, what they're expecting is some random blog post written by somebody, hopefully somebody in the business, and you're going to say, we're the top pizza restaurant in the country by, volume and Yelp scores, and we're going to teach you how to make the best darn pizza ever. Obviously, they want your information if they're serious, because it's, like I said, the best information to go from. Send them to a landing page and then get their email, of course, and then you take it on from there. There's different ways to do this. A lot of people run the classes on the weekends if they're doing in-person one, and they'll just offer, you have 10 employees, you say, hey, we're offering time and a half on the weekend to do a seminar to teach some of the other people at some of these other businesses at different mortgage places how to do training here. Who wants to do it? And then you get your 2 or 3 people, and they teach the other people from the competitor or whatnot to do that stuff. Okay. Some people do. I've seen it's like 5 days straight. Some people do. It's, every weekend for 2 or 3 or 4 weekends. So there's different ways to structure it, but you should be able to take your same exact employees, offer them a little incentive to run the college, mini college that you have. And respectively, for something that's like a 5-day course, you can charge upwards of $1,500 for that course, for that training program, 5-day in-person training. The businesses will pay it, and individuals will pay it as long as the earning potential of that position that they're going to get is decent. Like a dental hygienist, they'll pay that amount because they're going to get a the $40,000 a year job right away after it. For something like a pizza maker, you might not be able to charge quite as much, but you can make up for it in volume, or should make, in that case, make up for it in volume. But $1,500 a head for a dental hygienist certification course that you offer there versus, a college which offers the same thing and has the drawbacks of all the things that I said, not at your own pace, slower, can cost a little bit more. You're not getting active, real market information. You have 10 people that come in. You just run this once a month. 10 people at $1,500 a head. That's $15,000 per month in additional revenue. But not only that, you're getting about 80% margins because you only need, to train 10 people, you only need a couple people there. And that's really the beauty of this whole thing. It's a way to scale your business. So it may not be twice as much revenue, but it will be twice as much profit because the profit margin on your training course is 3 times what everything else is. So you don't need a huge amount of people to make a lot more profit in your company as it sits. Okay, so and that's the type of class size for something like that you can expect. Different markets could be different things. You could have a class, not that I've seen it, of 50 to 100 people. If you're trying to do something like a pizza school, you could do that. In reference to the pizza school, here I talked about the examples that I've seen before where people have done this to give you an idea of where it works versus where it doesn't work using this basic PPC strategy I gave you here. There's another way to get customers here as well. If the search campaigns work, automatically, if I'm selling to specifically doing the employee training, I'm going to go and hand build a list of all of the personal email addresses of all the other dentists across the country if I'm selling a dental hygienist school course. And with that, I'm going to send them all an email telling them that we offer this school and the price. I'm going to send a letter out to them in the mail. And then I'm going to take their email address and I'm going to go over to AdRoll and create an audience so I can run banner ads at those people at the same time. If you do all 3 of these things together versus one, it has way higher impact because they saw the ad, the email gets taken more seriously because they think they have heard of you before. If you send the email, then they see the banner ad. It's hey, I talked to that person. And now I see the banner ad. Yeah, I'm interested to check out their landing page and so forth. So whereas you might only you could start with the tried and true where the people already looking to buy now, dental hygienist certification, employee training, whatever. If you're doing a dental hygienist school on the weekends at your dental practice, using a couple of the hygienists that you have, if you only get, let's say you're enough to do 1 week, go ahead and try to make a manual list of all the dentists, and then just, if you really want to go to town with it, instead of getting 10 people a month, you can get 50 or 100, which I've seen specifically that in that exact situation with the dental school. That's what they did, so they could make more and more money without the dentist having to be there, and just in general more profitable than the dentistry itself, which is why people do it more than even the scaling part. So you can do that for the people that are looking for knowledge so they can get a job or do their job better, like the pizza maker certification. To get more people in that, you started out for people looking for a certification on Google, pizza maker certification. That's the low-hanging fruit. I would go and make a hand list of all the videos on YouTube that show you how to make the best pizza. And then I would have my video ad that shows up, the in-stream is what it's called, ad shows up within those videos that says, the top pizza place in the country is offering a 2-day school that tells you how to make a pizza so that you become the most effective pizza maker possible with current standards and everything that's going on, and get traffic that way. That's my second place, and that's where you would scale. So You may not be able to handle all of it right away, so you can start with the search ads, and then once you're ready to expand it, go after the YouTube videos, because that's where people go that really are interested in learning how to do it. And you'd be surprised how many people who will learn how to do something for a job or whatever and learn all of it on YouTube. 70% of the general public in general use YouTube now to learn stuff. I mean, that's what YouTube was always supposed to be about, is how to learn how to do stuff, like tutorials. So that's the most relevant place to advertise your course once you have it set up. When you're going to expand into stuff, display ads, i.e. stuff outside of search engine advertising. So that's what you do. Now, as far as where I've seen this work, thermal inspection, so that this person did thermal inspection on like windmills, that kind of stuff, and they sold the equipment to get an extra revenue stream, which is very low margin, but where they were really able to really pump up their numbers at their company was when they trained other people from other companies who wanted to get somebody who's trained on thermal at those companies, whether they're like a windmill inspection company or whether they're doing power lines, because it was certain things that they did inspection on, the windmills, power lines, and there was a few others. And so for other people who wanted to do inspection but don't have the thermal training yet, they took on all those people basically, okay? Made a very good margins with that. And all they had to do is, in that particular case, just go after people who are searching for a thermal employee training course or whatever on Google itself, and they got a bunch of people that way on a regular basis. Construction, so there's one company who did that where they would train other people, not in the local market, because it doesn't really work to train your competitors per se if you actually have a construction company running. But they did it, and they would do different specialties like the floor stuff, the floor heater thing, foundation, shows how to repair those. And there was a bunch of sub-niches, which then people, and so with that, they will travel to come to you. If you got competition where they're local, that's not going to obviously work, but it depends, I guess. I will say if you were the top, most profitable, most known place in the country for dental hygiene, whatever, and you had a competitor who's also offering a school in that person's city, they will, I'd say very well, would rather go and, they'll come across the country for you. The person that I had in the dental hygiene space did it was on a local basis. So with that said, in the construction space, they were going after people from Google search and just Google search alone on there. I had somebody who did this in the pizza. So, they were just a pizzeria, whatever, and they did a course there. That was an online course that they did in that particular case. And they just went after people on YouTube and on Google search. Somebody in the mortgage broker space, so training people who want to become mortgage brokers. So the first three here is geared towards people who, well, I shouldn't say that. The first two here, thermal and construction, those are people looking to train, their employees. The pizza one is in a category of its own. And then 4 and 5 here, mortgage brokers and dental hygienists. These are people who are looking to get certified to actually enter that profession itself, take the tests or whatnot. But the mortgage broker created a program so that you could learn everything to become certified, get licensed, I should say. And in the dental hygienist space, they did the same thing, and to get licensed. But it doesn't have to be training for somebody to get licensed. Now that's one avenue, which is why I put this bracket here. They're kind of together. It could be just to learn how to become knowledgeable to sell or do something that not a lot of people do and want to learn from the best, which is the pizza one, is what I explained. From the top, pizza maker in the country, whatnot. Could be the top beautician in the country, to learn from them. So this could be working for lots and lots of different stuff. But in general, that's pretty much the strategy there. Great thing about it is, even if you don't even think, you don't want to believe that I'm saying everything I'm saying here works, go ahead and set up a search campaign and a landing page. Don't even have a course. Just run the campaign like people do that sell books to see what book titles will work. And just target, the name of what you offer and then employee training, and then set up a landing page that offers employee training to other companies across the country. And mention that if you got to come to our place in Phoenix or whatever to get it, and just see who signs up. And if you get enough signups, then you can go ahead and build the course, if you will. If they sign up, just say, sorry, you're canceling it, whatever, sorry for the time being, and then take them later once you actually are set up. But that's an easy way to tell that this is actually going to be a side business that's going to work for you before you even have to try it, and see if there's obviously enough people. Sometimes it's, do I have enough people in my market that want information? Or the other angle could be, like in the mortgage space, there's other people that offer education. Are we successful enough that I could proposition our information in a way that people are going to want to still go with us? And respectively, if you run search ads, even though there's some other people in your market doing it, you could still be successful. You just have to have a decent ad and a decent landing page, and something, obviously you have to be a lot of times look like you're successful to some degree, and you can outdo them because you have a better actual PPC strategy, and the other companies don't know how to run their PPC as well as you, and that can be your edge. Of course, and then, so in summary here, I forgot to mention, the thermal inspection company was an in-person course, the construction in-person, pizza was online, the mortgage broker, that was online only, and the dental hygienist was in person here. And the thermal inspection and the construction was, people had to travel to get to them. The dental hygienist was local only. Just so you know the kind of markets, what worked. Not to say that that was the only thing that could work, but what they were specifically doing and that I know for sure works. So that should give you a good enough idea of how to, pitch your thing, whether online only, in person, and will people travel all the way to you. But again, the best way to tell is just to set up a landing page, turn on a campaign, spend $50 on a campaign in terms of traffic, and see if people sign up. So anyway, that's the whole thing in a nutshell in terms of how to make extra money in your business by creating a separate revenue stream, selling a course or a school or a program there, sharing what you know. If you like the video, I have a ton of other money-making PPC strategy videos on this channel. You should definitely check them out if you want to make some good money with PPC, other than what I shared with you today. I have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build campaigns that are virtually guaranteed to work, and which I use for our clients personally here. If you'd like to see information along those kind of lines and done more, broken down for you. If you have any questions about what I shared here, that I should have covered and didn't, leave me a comment down below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel within a day or two time. And all that said, I do hope to see you back on my next video that comes out, where I have another great PPC strategy that'll be able to make you some money there as well. See you then.